Welcome to the Mind Grow Radio Storyteller Series podcast. I am your host, Stephanie Cathan, and today we're joined in the Mind Grow studio by Juanita Sims. She is the CEO and the founder of Work Life Balance VA, which is a virtual assistant agency that empowers entrepreneurs, business owners, and busy professionals just like you and me to elevate their success through tailored support, driving results both behind the scenes and in the forefront of their strategy. I had the opportunity to connect with Juanita at an International Speaker Network event. We got started in a conversation. I loved her energy. I asked her to be on the show, and she is going to share some tips with us from her own personal growth toolbox about how to find that balance that we're all looking for when it comes to our work life and living life. Welcome, Juanita. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate you inviting me. I'm excited.
Now, you've been a business owner for a while, over a decade now. You've had different things. I was researching you after we met. And I know that you had like a mother's helper business back in 2016, I think. And then you elevated and you went out into real estate. And now you are the founder of your own agency, empowering people like me. And I just think that is so wonderful because it's very hard to find balance between that work life, personal life, business life, all the lives that we've got going on inside our mind at one time.
Yes.
And you found a way to streamline that and make that much easier while empowering the people that you work with. So first of all, I want to congratulate you and just celebrate you for doing that and showing up in the world the way that you do. And can you share a little bit with us about how you got started on this journey? Like, what inspired you to be an entrepreneur?
Oh, well, let's just say that necessity inspires quite a few things. And the necessity of providing for your child as a single parent. So once you become a single parent, you definitely are focused in on how not only to provide financially for that child, but to also provide all of the other intrinsic things that they need, like spending time with them, like getting them back and forth to doctor's appointments and other types of appointments. And so there were just so many things that needed to be done. And so when I divorced and became a single mom, the normal 8 to 5 did not work for our lives any longer. And so that's why I became an entrepreneur, because I needed to find a way to bring in an income, but also have the flexibility I needed to handle all the other responsibilities in my life.
I love that. And look at the shining example that you are, to your child as somebody who created something on her own, like out of the ethers, because that's what you do when you're on that entrepreneurial journey. You decide and then you move forward, and you've been able to not only create but build and nurture this amazing agency that you now run and share with the world. So I know for myself, finding balance. I live with a 7-year-old. Our life is hectic. It's crazy sometimes trying to find that balance. And what are some things that helped you as a single mom, when you were in the throes of your entrepreneurial journey? How did you find balance on the way?
Okay, so first of all, it was definitely not easy. And the process is different for everybody, and it should be. because I believe that our journeys are unique. But a couple of things that I can tell you that I have found out that have worked for many of my clients and was definitely my lifesaver. It was being intentional and making a decision. So we go through our lives, and there's, like you said, you have a 7-year-old that you are doing life with. My son is, I've been a single parent since he was 3. And so he'll be 16 in a couple of months. So you see, that's been a really long time. And there are so many things that can pull you in many, many directions. But when you are intentional about where you want to go, it makes it a lot easier to say yes or no to those things that don't line up. So it's really an idea of being in alignment with what is important for you. So in my case, as a single mom, I knew I needed to bring in an income, but there were some medical needs that needed to be addressed, and that required us to be at a lot of different medical appointments and therapist appointments and things like that. So I had to find a way to make that balance. The idea of being an entrepreneur, that was never in my makeup. I was one of those who wanted to be married, have my family, because I was thinking I was going to be having a house full of kids, and my little house, my little white picket fence, and just doing a job. I never even really wanted to climb the corporate ladder, which I ended up doing a little. But when my son became my priority, it made it a lot more, it made it easy for me to decide what was important and what was not. And so my intentions were clear. And I think that that's one of the things that a lot of entrepreneurs, particularly single parents, go through when they're trying to balance out the work and the life.
I love that. And I love that the way that you embraced the pivot, so to speak. You had this grand plan of what you thought your life would look like, as most of us do, right? We have this idea of what our life is going to be, and if we just do this. And sometimes the universe says, I have other plans.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you can get run over by that. You can feel defeated and give up. But what I get to witness with you is the way that you not only embrace the pivot, but you're like, I'm going to just build a bridge here, and it's going to lead me where I want to go, in the direction that I want to go. And I just love that so much. Can you share any other tips or tools or strategies that you have for those of us who might be busy professionals, or who are entrepreneurs or have small teams, how we can shift something quickly to help us? Now, what you brought up already was setting an intention and deciding your priority. And so we do that, and then what? Then what do we do?
All right. So one of the things that I teach my clients, because in addition to being a virtual assistant and taking things off of you, my team and I, we will do that. And so you have all this time now, right? You need to know what to do with that time. So we strategically come in and help you to organize your calendar. I know, and people say, your calendar? Yes. Organize your calendar, because particularly as a business owner, and you have all this desire to do all of the other things like actually live life. So putting those two things together, you already are really focused on the appointments that's on your calendar, usually. And so what we do is we guide you in putting those things that are most important on your calendar. Because when things are on your calendar, they have a higher propensity to getting done, correct?
That is so true. As you were talking, I'm like, has she been looking at my calendar? Is she looking at my windows? Like, can she see into my soul right now? Because I feel like she is talking to me.
Yes. But you're not alone, because I've worked with, when I was a solopreneur, and now that I have an agency, still work with clients who are very dynamic. You have the solopreneur that is doing all of the hats in their business, but they're also doing all of the hats, or most of the hats, in every other area of their life. So getting through to them and getting them to focus on, okay, what are the top 3 to 5 things that you need to get done in this next month, this next week? And once you determine what those things are, you know what you need to do in this day. Because though, if those things are not what is on your calendar, they're not going to get done. So it's really simple. And the method that we teach is time blocking. Oh, I am a big proponent of time blocking, but you need some things to support you in that time blocking. First of all, you go back to making that decision. If you're going to be intentional about your time, you need to decide that your time is a priority. And so when you put something on your calendar, you need to decide that that means it is going to get done today. And once you've done that, then you set a timer, because things that you enjoy doing, you get sucked into. And you'll be doing like hours of it. Even if you are doing, because I also advocate that you set up some time for, personal time, because you need some time to reflect on things. You need time to prepare for things. You need time to plan, but you also need that personal mental space. On my calendar, in between my appointments, I put 15 to 20 minutes of breather time, because you put a lot of yourself into whatever it is that you're doing. Sometimes you just need that time to breathe in between.
It's so
So,
true. And I love what you're saying about blocking off time for that, because most of us don't see that as the priority.
mm,
And um, I know how important it is for me, and how much better I would feel if I put it on my calendar. Like, that is so brilliant. My God.
yeah, because when we don't do those things, that's what leads to burnout. That's what leads to stress, which stress can affect every area of your life,
Mhm.
not just your mental capacity, but it affects your body. And so we have to make a decision to be intentional about taking care of ourselves as well. So once you do that, it's much easier for you to put time for yourself on your calendar, because you have a 7-year-old in your household, right?
Yeah, my granddaughter lives with me.
Okay.
Hmm.
And so she has a whole lot of things that can pull you in this way, that way, every which way, right?
Every which way.
Yes. But if you are not there, if you are not fully present, if you are not capable mentally, physically, emotionally to deal with her, do y'all not have some problems?
It's so true. And as you're talking, I'm thinking back into my mind to a very recent, just a few days ago. She was trying to talk to me and I was doing something, and it was after hours. And I was not giving her the full focus and attention that she deserved.
Right.
And what I was doing could actually have waited.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking now, so many light bulbs are going off in my head because of this conversation. Like, I'm seeing how important it is to really prioritize, and saying, putting it on your calendar, put it on my calendar. I used to kind of be judgy about people who said that to me. It's not on my calendar. And so that's not happening anymore.
Yay. Yay. um,
You are
yeah,
giving me a new level of respect for my calendar.
as you should have, because that's your time. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. And I did like a little short video not long ago where that was the focus of the video, was that, have you ever wondered how some people can make 5, 6, 7, 8 figures doing, in their businesses, while others do not? It all comes down to your time, how you spend that time, how you use that time. So those high earners that we look at and we see them on videos, we go to their webinars, we go to their in-person presentations, and we end up buying their products, their services, all of those things. They're using their time to get in front of the people that want their services, and those people are buying them. So they have learned how to use time. So they are calendar people, or
Yeah,
they have a calendar person
exactly.
somewhere so they can get where they need to get. So, yeah, but we need to
What
learn. Oh, I'm
what
sorry.
I'm picking up from you is that you not only just empower, you teach how
Yeah,
to leverage your time in the best possible way to
right.
achieve the goals that you're setting for yourself
Mhm.
through decision and intention, and leveraging something that is already yours, which is your time.
Exactly.
Oh, you
Yeah.
are good, girl. You are good.
Well, and one more thing about time is, when we realize and rather come to the realization that that is a unrenewable resource, and so the way we use it will determine how far we can go. Just like any other resource, you have to pay attention to it and use it appropriately. So our
Mm.
time was never just given to us to just squander away and just float through this world. No, we were given a purpose when we got on this earth, and we should continue to give our time a purpose, because we have a beginning and an end time. So in between, it should be that intentionality to fulfill not just your ultimate purpose, but all of the other purposes that you have in your life. So,
I love it so much. Whew, you've shared so many wonderful nuggets. Just want to absorb them for a minute. As you were creating and building and moving your way through this journey that you are on, was there ever a time when you just got, like, felt you wanted to give up, or it was so frustrating, or you didn't know what to do? And if so, how were you able to turn that around?
well, yeah, there were quite a few times when we first divorced, was the biggest one, because it was like, what am I going to do? And, because I was like, I'm pulling in, I have an income, but my income was one of those where it was designed to go with a second income, meaning
Mm.
like your partner. So that was one thing, but necessity again. I needed to be able to grow my income. The other was when the medical issues that I was dealing with my son came to the forefront. There was another opportunity where I was like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? How can I be here and here and here all at the same time? Well, it was that's when I started to realizing that I got to set some priorities. And in order for me to fulfill those priorities, I needed to be intentionally making decisions. And so that's really where it started. He was probably in kindergarten. Kindergarten, first grade was when that started for me. And anytime that, there are life shifts that you go through. And some of them just keep coming back at you. And they're not things that are necessarily in your control, but they're things that you have to deal with. And whenever those things have come up, and yes, they've come up quite a few times in the last few years, knowing what my priority is has helped me a lot, because the priority, you can call it your goal or whatever you call it, but knowing where I want to go or knowing where I have to go really makes it a lot easier to say no to something else that's coming at me, or to say yes to something for an opportunity or something like that. Does that answer the question?
Yes, it does, and so much more, because it brings us back to your ability to find that work-life balance and to leverage all of the energy, not only of your time, but of your knowledge and your gifts and your talents, and the way that you continue to show up in the world to share those gifts and talents. It has been so fun to be here with you. Where can people go to learn more about you?
All righty. So the way my actual work website is still under construction, but they can contact me at my scheduling system, my Acuity scheduling system, and it is Work Life Balance VA. So my whole business name /AS as wait a minute. Oh, I don't know. Hold on one moment.
You
Let
can
me look
find
at it.
her on LinkedIn.
Gosh, yes, that is it. Find me
It's
on
it's
LinkedIn.
first of all, for the listeners who might be going, "What? She doesn't know where she's sending people." Let me just tell you, when you have your foundation under construction, there are work in progress signs all over, and so during this transition of growth, you can find Juanita on LinkedIn, and I
Yes,
highly, highly recommend that you do. Her name is Juanita Sims. You can find her under Work Life Balance VA over there. I highly recommend that you do, especially if you're a solopreneur like me, who really needs the support in prioritizing and clearly help with my calendar. I highly recommend that you connect with Juanita, and you may meet up with her at an International Speaker Network event also, because she's also a public speaker. And while we're on that topic, we have just a few more minutes, but what are the topics that you talk about other than work-life balance? Is there another topic? Really,
well,
is there even another topic in the world other than work-life balance? Because it kind of covers, like, touches all the points. You know what I mean?
yes. And so, first of all, thank you, Stephanie. Reach me on LinkedIn. Now, the other, yes, I do speak a lot on work life balance, but I tailor it to different audiences. I just did a presentation for work life balance for female entrepreneurs.
I love it.
And I tailored it because, females, female business owners and male business owners, they need different things. Our focuses are different. And women in particular, when we add on a business, we don't let anything else go usually.
Mm-hmm.
And our male counterparts are a lot better at compartmentalizing things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one of the topics, but it's work-life balance for everybody. And there's some tips and things that I suggest and some things I get you to start thinking about. But it's work-life balance as an entrepreneur because
Mm.
that juggling of all of the different hats. So predominantly I speak about work-life balance.
I love it so much, and I'm so glad that we were able to connect in this way and get to know each other. And um, I love your energy. I love what you're bringing to the world. And as a final note to this interview, anyway, I have a feeling that we're going to be talking a lot more. But for this, is there something that you could say to the listeners, somebody who might just be starting out on the entrepreneurial journey, or maybe they're just feeling like, I need to do something like that. I need to create my own way, or I need to be able to write my own ticket. How do I get started being more than I am right in this moment?
Okay, so this is probably going to sound too simplistic, but the best advice that I could give someone in those situations is to just get started. Do not wait or try to wait until it is perfect. You're never going to find perfect. And so, what that will do is have you continuously thinking and prepping for something that you never actually do. So, just get started.
I love it. Oh, thank you, Juanita Sims, for joining us in the Mind Grow studio today. What a powerful conversation. So many aha moments.
Thank
I
you.
really want to shower some appreciation on you because you've really lit me up. I can feel like so many ideas going through my head. I loved this conversation. And I hope that you listeners loved it too. I hope you gleaned some amazing stuff. Go over to LinkedIn if you're not on there and connect with Juanita, Work Life Balance VA. Look her up, join her network, get into her energy, especially if you are a woman, entrepreneur, if you are a solopreneur, if you run small teams. She is a light that you want to have in your world. And I look forward to sharing stages with you in the future, lady, because you are amazing.
Well, thank you.
Amazing. I am your host, Stephanie Cathan. You've been listening to the Mind Grow Radio Storyteller Series, joined by the ever fabulous Juanita Sims.
Oh,
And we will see you next time. And until then, keep shining in your brilliance and just get started. We will see you next time.